Hi, I'm Jonathan, the second affirmative for this issue on whether or not the U.S. should be involved in Syria. Well, first I'm going to say what has to be done in order to get this war over with. Because obviously America is not here to get into another anti-world conflict. No, our goal is to train the Syrian rebels and the countries around that stand for Syria that will not be bullied or pushed around by the jihadists, or ISIS, as they like to call it. And this is why I 100% have to back what Evan said, because he made some pretty good points. And in my speech, I will say 4 reasons why. 1, the U.S. to deploy troops to train Syrian rebels. 2nd, that President hopeful Hillary Clinton sees merit in Obama's decision to send troops to Syria. 3rd, that Lindsey Graham sends troops to topple the Assad regime. And 4th, if in fact, and I highly believe that this can happen, is that 50 U.S. troops in Syria can make a difference to make our world the utopia that we all hope can happen in the future. So first, the U.S. Central Command is conducting a bombing campaign in Syria and Iraq to degrade the Islamic State military capabilities. Coalition partners from the Middle East and Europe are participating in the air war. This is a major step to get this whole conflict done. Why, you may ask? Because if you have troops fighting on the ground and troops up in the air, that's a 2-in-1 disadvantage for the ISIS and ISIL that are trying to create terror in this world. But this is a major upside for the American regime and all those fighting against ISIS, because this is a strength of numbers, as you may say. And why? Because let's just say ISIS and ISIL is not going to know what just hit them. They'll probably just cower back to fear and hopefully realize they won't ever win this, because America is the mother of all countries. And our duty is to help and protect those that live on Earth. 2nd, President hopeful Hillary Clinton sees merit in Obama's decision to send troops. Nick Merrill said, of course, she opposes the U.S. getting into a ground war in the Middle East, and she strongly supports ongoing diplomatic efforts to end the conflict, address the suffering, and bring all Syria's communities together to confront ISIS. Now, although this does seem to back up what I've said previously, here's why it's not. Because obviously we need to know that in order to solve this conflict, we need to have all the help we can get. And obviously, if we don't send troops like the negatives here are trying to say, no progress will ever get done. And we all know, in order to get progress done, you need to act, and act fast. Or ISIS will think that the Americans are a bunch of pushing daisies that they can just push around whenever they want. So, I strongly agree with what President hopeful Hillary Clinton is trying to say here. And I hope if she does get president, she'll make a good president, knowing that she agrees with what America wants to do. And what America wants to do is make the world a better place and save tons of innocent lives from getting blown to smithereens. Because obviously that is not good. 3rd, that Lindsey Graham wants to send troops to topple Assad. He said, I would integrate our forces within a regional army, he says. There's no other way to defend this wonderful nation than some of us being on the ground over there doing the fighting. Now, obviously, he is being a little overly dramatic, but not in a way that makes this a negative thing. Because like I said before, we just want to help out the Syrians that want to stand up and fight ISIS. And obviously, this is another case of strength over numbers. Because obviously, this is a 3-in-1 advantage. 1, because you have the American troops trying to help the Syrian rebels get better at their fighting stances. 3, Syrian outlook that wants to topple Assad, and third, the airstrikes that will, for once, help us out, that will put an end to this war. So I believe that this is a good start to ending this conflict of World War III, as they are starting to call it, which I think is a major dramatization. And finally, can 50 troops in Syria make a difference? I want to answer this with a definite yes. John Ernest said, "The President does expect that they can have an impact in intensifying our strategy for building the capacity of local forces inside of Syria, for taking the fight on the ground to ISIL in their own country." What's this, you may ask? Well, basically, what I've shown here is that we have smart and intelligent people that really know what's best for this country. And what's best for this country is a declaration that ends all wars, so that now we won't have to deal with this, waking up the next morning and seeing, oh great, another conflict has come within. So I strongly feel that this thing, sending the troops to Syria, is a positive breach of outlook, showing that we can do what it is that has to be done. What has to be done is an intelligent move that needs to be acted quickly.